Realizing that Jun Suangxiao is making the moves on him, Shen Yu comes to his senses and pushes Jun Suangxiao. Even when wounded, Jun Suangxiao is still stronger than him. Concerned that he might open up his wound, Shen Yu told him to stop. But Jun Suangxiao is at his limit. It's been so long since he kissed Shen Yu, and begged Shen Yu to allow him to kiss him. Shen Yu shoved him hard, making Jun Suangxiao hiss. "Suits you right." Shen Yu insisted that he stop if he does not want to get hurt. Jun Suangxiao smiled at him teasingly, seducing him, trying to get him to agree to a kiss. Not ready for intimacy, Shen Yu turned his back on Jun Suangxiao, rejecting them because he stinks. Ouch! Both of them had not bathed in the past 4 days. Not only that, Jun Suangxiao's beard is so coarse that it pricks Shen Yu's baby-like skin. Jun Suangxiao was left speechless when Shen Yu bundled up like a burrito, flat out rejecting his advances. Shen Yu has been planning for this moment. It's been 5 days since Jun Suangxiao pinned him down on the bed, trying to get him to kiss him, taking advantage of him yet again. With a razor in hand, he situated himself atop the wounded emperor. He pointed the razor on the emperor's chin, its tip close to Jun Suangxiao's neck. Jun Suangxiao woke up to Shen Yu's surprise. The emperor asked him what he was doing, to which Shen Yu answered that he came to do what he had wanted to do for a long time. He needed to shave Jun Suangxiao's beard, which had grown so thick that he resembled a bear. "You all think Shen Yu's gonna murder him, didn't you?" Jun Suangxiao sat upright, scratching the spot Shen Yu pointed the razor at. He felt a burning pain while dreaming. Urging him not to move, Shen Yu held his face and proceeded to shave his beard. Jun Suangxiao sat frozen, then hissed when Shen Yu accidentally cut him. Jun Suangxiao thanked Shen Yu for the new injury he added on top of everything he had to injure. Annoyed at Jun Suangxiao's teasing remarks, Shen Yu told him to blame his thick beard that broke Song Qing's razor. Jun Suangxiao changed the topic, telling Shen Yu that he is really not in a hurry to be intimate. They can explore their relationship more when they return to the capital. Shen Yu blushed as Jun Suangxiao drew closer and turned his head away after smelling him. "He stinks." Shen Yu asked where he could find water. "He desperately needs a bath." The two went to a nearby stream to clean themselves. Shen Yu helped Jun Suangxiao by pouring water on his head using a wooden ladle. He instructs Jun Suangxiao to move forward to avoid getting his wound wet. Shen Yu felt a stirring in his heart, happy to see Jun Suangxiao lower his head to Shen Yu, something that the other never did. Shen Yu finds this endearing as bathing the big emperor feels like petting a large, chunky cat. Shen Yu laughed as he raised his hand to keep himself from getting wet. Suddenly, Jun Suangxiao uttered his name and grabbed his wrist, pulling him down until he finds himself on Jun Suangxiao's lap. Jun Suangxiao teased a wide-eyed Shen Yu seductively, commenting that Shen Yu must be enjoying himself. Shen Yu froze as he sat on Jun Suangxiao's lap. He looks him in the eye, smitten by his gaze, when suddenly, he is doused by cold water from behind. Soaking wet, he screamed at Jun Suangxiao, asking him what he thought he was doing. Jun Suangxiao told him that they should take a bath together, which is something they've done before. Shen Yu complained that he already showered. He does not want to get his robes wet as they are clean. Jun Suangxiao stopped to admire Shen Yu, happily talking to him even while soaking wet. Frowning, Jun Suangxiao asked why Shen Yu is still wearing his wedding robes and demanded that Shen Yu take it off. He loomed over Shen Yu, pulling at his clothes. Shen Yu replied that he has no choice as he has no other clothes. Jun Suangxiao did not say anything about the robes before, so Shen Yu asked him why it's making him upset now. He insists that Jun Suangxiao should communicate better and explain to Shen Yu what upsets him, rather than getting mad and blaming Shen Yu. Yes, communication is key. Confused, Jun Suangxiao asks him what he means. Shen Yu insists that he should know. Shen Yu is referring to the fact that Jun Suangxiao did not come to stop his wedding. He asked if not for the Huns, would Jun Suangxiao let him marry Chu Ling? Jun Suangxiao quickly said no, insisting that he would not allow it to happen. He confessed that he considered kidnapping Shen Yu, but he was not sure if Shen Yu loved him. He was worried that Shen Yu may hate him forever if he made the wrong decision. Shen Yu is speechless. Jun Suangxiao holds Shen Yu closer by the waist. Now he's sure that Shen Yu loves him. He caressed Shen Yu's face, leaning closer for a kiss. Shen Yu blushed deeply, his body shivers, and shyly turns away from Jun Suangxiao. Not sated, Jun Suangshou asks what's wrong. Shen Yu shielded himself with his arm and tells Jun Suangshou that he's not done washing his hair. He threw a cloth at Jun Suangshou's face. He covered his head with the cloth and helped dry his hair. Jun Suangshou asks if this is necessary, to which Shen Yu tells him that it is indeed important. Shen Yu finally declares that they are done bathing and tells Jun Suangshou that they should leave. The former commander of the North asks Shen Yu if he's sure that they are done. He tells Shen Yu that there is a part of him that the other has not yet wiped while pointing between his legs. Shen Yu dumbly followed where he was pointing at. Realizing that Jun Suangshou was teasing him again, he snarkily tells him that he should clean it himself. The man is indeed shameless, not caring if people may hear him say such lewd words. Before Shen Yu could leave, Jun Suangshou hugged him from behind. He seductively tells Shen Yu that they are alone, even complimenting Shen Yu's smile. Shen Yu realized that he has been smiling a lot since reuniting with him. Jun Suangshou drew him closer, telling him to smile more for him. Shen Yu promised that he would, which made Jun Suangshou happy. He swooped down to devour Shen Yu's lips and make love to him, finally becoming one with his consort. Jun Suangshou watched Shen Yu rest beside him on the cold stone. He lifts off the red outer robe covering his consort. Shen Yu inspects his wounds, glad that they did not split open even when Jun Suangshou was being rough on him. Realizing how lewd his words are, Shen Yu sat up covering his face. Jun Suangshou looks at him, amused. The Emperor of Qing stood up and wrapped his belt securely around his waist. He tells Shen Yu that they should leave before Shen Yu catches a cold. He takes Shen Yu's soaked robes with him, carefully carrying it in his forearm. Shen Yu is surprised that Jun Suangshou would take the robin with him, when it upset him previously. Jun Suangshou explained that he is not mad at the robes. He was upset at the thought of Shen Yu marrying another man, and that he no longer loves Jun Suangshou. Shi Yu asks him if he's still mad. Jun Suangshou holds his wrist and tells him that he is no longer angry, secured by the fact that Shen Yu loves him and shall remain his for the rest of their lives. Shen Yu quipped that Jun Suangshou said he would allow him to remarry when they were being attacked by the Huns. Jun Suangshou asks if Shen Yu took what he said seriously. Shen Yu giggles, obviously trying to rile up the other man. He tells Jun Suangshou that he already compiled a list of qualifications for his new husband. Wealth is not important to Shen Yu, so his new husband does not need to be rich or famous. It's okay if his new husband is average-looking or of average height. And knowing that Shen Yu's low standards, Jun Suangshou angrily told him to stop. Is he going back to his jealous, possessive ways? The two stood staring at each other, pushing Jun Suangshou's buttons. Shen Yu walks briskly and tells his husband that he meant every word he said. Jun Suangshou snaps that if Shen Yu chose such a man, he would turn over in his grave. He will not be at peace, whilst no man in the world can compare to him. Shen Yu should at least marry someone who is almost as magnificent as him. Shen Yu replied that the only thing true about the statement is that no man can compare to Jun Suangshou's shamelessness. Grabbing Shen Yu by the waist, he lifts him up and asks if Shen Yu is not afraid of getting punished by Jun Suangshou. That better be a fun kind of punishment. When they returned, Song Qing immediately gave them the report regarding the war currently happening at Baiyao Mountain. To prevent the traders from Wuding Province from contacting the Huns, Jun Suangshou decided to block all roads. He shall go to Zijin Pass himself. Jun Suangshou's army immediately assembled and raided the Wuding Province. Years of experience allowed them to invade the province quickly. Knowing that doom is imminent, the governor of Wuding Province took matters into his own hands and ended his life along with his family. Meanwhile, Song Qing reports the capture of Shen Ruofei, who was on her way to the Huns. When caught, she washed her hands off the Huns and told Song Qing that she was on her way home to the north. Shen Yu advised Jun Suangshou to allow Shen Ruofei to leave and to let her return to North City. Unbeknownst to Shen Ruofei, she was being tailed. She went straight to the Huns' hideout, requesting that she be granted refuge. In a matter of minutes, the Huns' secret camp was surrounded by Jun Suangshou's men. The king of the Huvian Huns accused her of leading the army to their camp and slayed her on the spot. Jun Suangshou's army raided the camp, slaying all soldiers. The king of Huvian Bo was no more. The Hun soldiers not at the camp are not enough to pose a threat. Foot soldiers stationed locally can take care of them. Shen Yu happily rummaged through the new clothes that finally arrived. He can finally change out of the wedding robes. Jun Su Anxiao approached him from behind, happily reporting that they were able to defeat the Huns, all thanks to Shen Yu's idea. He complimented Shen Yu for learning new strategies. Shen Yu retorted that it is all thanks to being deceived by a certain someone repeatedly in the past. Shen Yu learned from the expert. He just learned it the hard way, feigning innocence. Jun Su Anxiao pretended to be riled up for Shen Yu, even promising to punish whoever it was that deceived him. You can start with flogging yourself. Shen Yu pulls a robe from the chest and raises it shoulder high to Jun Su Anxiao to see if it looks good on him. Shen Yu did not mind his teasing and continued to pick out clothes to wear. Jun Su Anxiao sighed. He expresses his worry that Shen Yu is getting so smart. What will he do if Shen Yu becomes much better than him? What will he do if Song Qing no longer respects him? He hugs Shen Yu from behind, pretending to be devastated. Shen Yu tells him that his worries have nothing to do with him, as Jun Su Anxiao's army is loyal to him. Jun Su Anxiao reveals that Song Qing has been his confidant after years of working together. Shen Yu does not seem to care and tells Jun Su Anxiao to remove his clothes, taking it as an invitation for some afternoon delight. Jun Su Anxiao joyfully removes his robes. Shen Yu tells him to stop. Shen Yu clarified that he only wanted him to remove his clothes to get change. Jun Su Anxiao is not getting lucky today. Undeterred, Jun Su Anxiao grabs Shen Yu from behind, pressing his hard length on Shen Yu. Startled, Shen Yu hits Jun Su Anxiao's family jewels, which made the emperor bend over in pain. He pleads for Shen Yu to stop hitting him in the nuts, as he fears that Shen Yu could actually cause real damage one day. Feeling quote, Shen Yu asks him if he's all right. The emperor quickly answered no, unabashedly asking Shen Yu to kiss him to make it better. Kiss where? The disgruntled Shen Yu can only try to escape from his octopus grip. Sighing, Jun Su Anxiao obediently put on his new clothes. Seeing that the buttons are only half done, Shen Yu buttoned his shirt for him. He stood on tiptoes and finally kissed Jun Su Anxiao on the lips. Blushing, Shen Yu hands him his robes and tells him to get to work. The two sat on a raised platform meant for the emperor whenever he received a report or when giving out orders. Shen Yu comments that with the fall of their king, the Huns are in turmoil, and it will be the perfect chance for them to attack. Out of the 3 Hun tribes, Huyan is the weakest. The pressure from the other 2 tribes must have driven them to start a war with Da Jing. In order to prevent the Huns from getting stronger, they must prevent the remaining Huyan Huns from joining the other 2 tribes. Shen Yu understood and racked his brain for a solution, but Jun Su Anxiao hugs him, sweetly telling him to not concern himself with this problem. Jun Su Anxiao will take care of it himself. Feeling that his contributions are being undermined, Shen Yu reminded him that it was thanks to his idea that they found the main camp of the Huns. Sweetly, Jun Su Anxiao explained that what he wanted was to become intimate with Shen Yu. Shen Yu quickly refused, afraid that someone might come into the tent and see them. Persistently, Jun Su Anxiao begged for Shen Yu to grant his wish. He's worried that he won't be able to see Shen Yu for a long while. A stone settles on Shen Yu's stomach. Worried, he asks Jun Su Anxiao what he means. Jun Su Anxiao responded that a carriage will soon take Shen Yu to the capital. Shen Yu asks him why he needs to leave. Jun Su Anxiao answered that with the passing of the Huyan king, he will lead his army to the north to fight the Huns. It will be a long, arduous battle. Shen Yu stubbornly refused, grabbing Jun Su Anxiao by the lapels of his robes. Jun Su Anxiao reasoned that the war would be too dangerous for Shen Yu. Using an endearment, he tells Shen Yu to listen to him. Shen Yu, who is not used to war, will have nothing to do at camp. Shen Yu countered that Jun Su Anxiao himself is not fully recovered. Stubbornly, Shen Yu suggested that he can stay as Jun Su Anxiao's advisor. Jun Su Anxiao became serious and used his commander's voice to order Shen Yu to return to the capital. Shocked at being told off, Shen Yu turned on the waterworks, which made Jun Su Anxiao feel bad. Shen Yu doesn't want to be away from, especially when they just got back together. Jun Su Anxiao apologizes to Shen Yu for being harsh on him. Calling him honey yet again, he kisses Shen Yu on the head. It's not that Shen Yu wanted them to be together at all hours, but Jun Su Anxiao leaving him to leave for war is unbearable. Shen Yu asks how long he would be gone, to which the emperor cannot give him a solid timeline. War does not end quickly. Shen Yu suggested that Jun Su-on-shou use Shen Yu's finger bone to open King Chu's mausoleum, surprised that Shen Yu would suggest such a thing. Jun Su-on-shou can only say his name. Shen Yu insists that Jun Su-on-shou may find something useful to help him win the war or treasures that can help fund it. Out of guilt, Jun Su-on-shou vowed to never touch the mausoleum. Shen Yu wanted him to reconsider. It is nothing but a tomb, and it will be best for everyone involved if the war ends quickly. A treasure is worthless if not put to good use. Jun Su-on-shou promised him 5 years to settle the war with the Huns. He promises Shen Yu that once the war is over, and the world is a better place, they shall live as a happy couple together for the rest of their lives. Shen Yu is doubtful. Jun Su-on-shou swore that if he cannot end the war in 5 years' time, then he is not good enough to be Shen Yu's husband. Shen Yu quipped that he's always been bad at being a husband. Would you like an ointment for that burn? Emotional damage. Instead of being offended, Jun Su-on-shou agreed that he has been a bad husband, but he promises to do better. He urged Shen Yu to listen and go back to the capital. Petulantly, Shen Yu tells him no. Getting mad, Jun Su-on-shou asks him what's the problem. Shen Yu reasoned that as they are both men, they can both participate in the war. Jun Su-on-shou can fight while Shen Yu works as his advisor. Jun Su-on-shou pointed out that they are different. Shen Yu asks how they are different. While it's obvious that Jun Su-on-shou is more masculine, Shen Yu is also a man. As if dealing with a stubborn child, Jun Su-on-shou just kept on calling Shen Yu honey, which annoyed his consort. This led to a battle of wills, both unrelenting, both holding their ground. They went to bed angry at each other, not able to compromise. Jun Su-on-shou does not want to agree to Shen Yu's whims. A husband must stand his ground, or his wife will become so willful, torn between holding his ground and giving in so that they can be together again. Jun Su-on-shou's head hurts. Either way, he suffers a loss no matter the outcome, as Shen Yu won't let Jun Su-on-shou touch him. Shen Yu calls his name. Thinking that his consort must have changed his mind, Jun Su-on-shou asks him what he wanted attentively, only for Shen Yu to ask him to scratch his itchy back. That's what some husbands are only good for. Well done, Shen Yu. Shen Yu moans as he wakes. He wakes up with a completely dressed Jun Su-on-shou lounging on his side, smiling at him. Shocked at his husband's display of devilish charm, Shen Yu screams and pushes him off the bed. When he calms down, Shen Yu explains that Jun Su-on-shou scared him. Dejectedly, Jun Su-on-shou asks if he's ugly. Apart from his clothes, he looks the same. Jun Su-on-shou leans over him and tells Shen Yu that if he wanted to become Jun Su-on-shou advisor, he should get up early. No advisor lounges in bed until late in the morning. Shen Yu tossed the covers and jumped out of bed quickly. He hastily puts on his shoes, adjusted his belt, and clumsily ties his hair ribbon. As he puts on his outer robe, ready to leave the tent, Jun Su-on-shou stops him so that he can have breakfast first. As he's already late, he might as well have a good meal, otherwise he might get sick. Seated on the table, Shen Yu agreed and took a bite of a dumpling. He notices that the food was still warm, which means that Jun Su-on-shou timed the food's delivery in time with Shen Yu's waking time. Jun Su-on-shou watches him eat, telling him to take his time. Jun Su-on-shou asks him to come with him to the parade ground when he's done eating. Shen Yu readily agrees. When Shen Yu is done eating, Jun Su-on-shou tells Shen Yu that his family is in the parade ground waiting for him. He tells him this like an afterthought. Shen Yu stood up abruptly, surprised that Chu Ling and his family had come to see him. He quickly heads over to the parade ground, but Jun Su-on-shou holds him back, wiping his mouth. They're both getting cute. Shen Yu approaches at kneeling Chu Ling. He quickly grabs his cousin's arms, urging him to stand up. Embarrassed that they are treating him like royalty, Chu Ling stood up but kept his arms extended in front of him as a sign of respect to Shen Yu. Shen Yu asks him why he came. Chu Ling answered that they came to express their gratitude for saving their family. Shen Yu quickly tells him that they do not need to thank him, holding Chu Ling's 2 hands in his. Jun Su-on-shou took one of Shen Yu's hands to keep him from having skin-to-skin contact with Chu Ling. Someone was jealous. Inserting himself between the 2 cousins, Jun Su-on-shou tells Chu Ling that it was a business transaction. They both got something out of their deal. Chu Ling replies that defeating the Huns might be a trivial thing for the emperor, but for his family, he is their savior. Shen Yu asks the situation at the mansion. Chu Ling reveals that they suffered a great loss. About 400 of their family members were severely injured or slain. Before reinforcement came, the Huns were able to break in, and many of their houses were looted and destroyed. Luckily, many of them were able to escape. He tells Shen Yu not to worry about them. Chu Ling turned to Chu Yu and told him to open the chest. Inside are golds and silver, the Chu family's gift as a show of gratitude. There are 200,000 silver tolls and 100,000 gold taels. Chu Ling wants Jun Su Anshou to use the gifts to compensate the soldiers or to use it to strengthen his army. Impressed by the large number of taels, Shen Yu concludes that the Chu family is extremely rich. Jun Su Anshou is unimpressed. Being emperor, this amount of gold is nothing to him. He tells Chu Ling that the gifts are unnecessary as the elixir that he received is priceless. Chu Ling insists that he accepts them. They can serve as Shen Yu's dowry. It is only customary as the Chu family will need to entrust one of their own to Jun Su Anshou when he takes him to the capital. They wanted to ensure that Shen Yu is well provided for. Shen Yu acquiesced and conceded that the treasures can be his betrothal gifts. This much is not too extravagant as he married an emperor. Chu Ling also pointed out that as Shen Yu was the chosen clan head, this much money can be considered his allowance. Jealously watching the interaction between the two cousins, he concludes that Chu Ling must have given up on Shen Yu, as Shen Yu is part of the Chu clan. They are now family, and there is no need to give him a hard time. Chu Yi approaches Shen Yu and apologizes. With tears in his eyes and nesting his first heartache, Chu Ling tells Shen Yu that he was not aware that the masked guard is Shen Yu's husband. Shen Yu can only tell him not to cry as he is not used to comforting people, taking pity on Shen Yu. Chu Ling intervened and asked Shen Yu to speak privately. The two walks a fair distance away out of the other's hearing, but not too far that they cannot be seen. Chu Ling opens the conversation lamenting that he could have been Shen Yu's husband. However, being brothers isn't so bad. He pats Shen Yu on the head, assuring him that he has a family to come home to should he encounter problems in the future. Shen Yu shyly thanks him. Knowing that Jun Su Anshou can see them, Shen Yu steals a glance at him only to see the emperor brooding in jealousy, watching their every move. Shen Yu can tell how jealous the other is, making him blush. Chu Ling is relieved to see that the two are getting along, and he does not need to worry about them. The representatives of the Chu family left, carrying with them building supplies to help them rebuild their home. Shen Yu waves at them, seeing them off. Of course, the jealous Jun Su Anshou needs to know what Shen Yu and Chu Ling talked about. Shen Yu decided to tell him that it was nothing, then asks what Jun Su Anshou discussed with Chu Yi. Contrary to Shen Yu's response, Jun Su Anshou tells him that he had a lot to talk about with Chu Yi. He claims that the young man confessed his undying love for him. His confession was so blunt that they'd make him blush if he had to repeat them to Shen Yu. Satisfied at Shen Yu's reaction, he smiles at him teasingly. Shen Yu punches him on the chest when he realized that Jun Su Anshou is lying, and that is all a trick to get him jealous. He scolds Jun Su Anshou that an emperor should not go out of his way to trick his emperor consort. Annoyed, Shen Yu turns away from the other whilst crossing his arms in front of him. Jun Su Anshou tries to pacify Shen Yu by admitting that he was only joking and that the younger man should not leave. He grabs Shen Yu's hand and waist, forcing him to turn towards him. If Shen Yu must leave, then they should both return to the capital. The two travel to the capital in a carriage escorted by Jun Su Anshou's soldiers. It was by the end of August, which marks the wet season. Rain pours down on the carriage, while they set up camp for the night. The pouring rain obscures the view from the windows, where one can see the blurry image of soldiers stationed outside. Jun Su Anshou sits up from his bed and approaches his emperor consort on the other bed. He invites Shen Yu to sleep beside him as the weather is cool. Shen Yu shoves him away, not wanting to share another person's body heat. Jun Su Anshou tells him to cover himself with a blanket to avoid catching a cold. Shen Yu does not like being babied and tells Jun Su Anshou to stop acting like an overbearing mother. Jun Su Anshou lets out a sigh as he realizes that Shen Yu is getting more and more petulant. Light streams through the carriage window, illuminating the carriage. Jun Su Anshou wakes up blearily, surprised at finding his stubborn consort clinging to him. He's glad that Shen Yu sought him out for warmth when he got cold. Noticing that there is something wrong with his consort, he calls to wake him. Shen Yu answered him weakly that he feels cold. His consort's shivering form worries Jun Su Anshou. The weather may be cool, but not cold enough to make one shiver. When he touched Shen Yu's forehead, the consort's skin was scorching. He remembers Shen Yu's stubborn attitude the night before. This wouldn't have happened if only Shen Yu slept with him to share his warmth. He wraps Shen Yu in a thick blanket and orders a guard to go to town and get a doctor. The carriage, along with Jun Suanshou's soldiers, entered the town and took rest in an inn. His aristocratic bearing and domineering aura intimidates the doctor he hired to treat Shen Yu. With trembling hands, the doctor assures him that there is nothing to worry about as the younger man is only suffering a cold, which can be remedied by taking medicine. Jun Suanshou took the medicine from the doctor and threw him a golden tail to the doctor's delight. Jun Suanshou dismisses him as he will take over Shen Yu's treatment. The doctor thanked him profusely and left the room. When he closed the door to their rented room, the doctor remembered how scary the taller man was. Carrying the patient, the man looked murderous, that the doctor thought that he must be an evil man. But now, the doctor can see that the man was some rich nobleman. Carrying his gold tail with him, he left the inn with spring in his steps. Jun Suanshou helps Shen Yu sit up. He needs to wake him so that he can drink his medicine. Seeing that the other is in deep slumber, he tried to make him drink the bowl of medicine, but the medicine is being wasted. Jun Suanshou had an idea. He drank the bowl of medicine, tipped Shen Yu's head back, and administered the medicine through Shen Yu's mouth. I don't think that's safe. He could choke. Shen Yu coughed, half awake, and told him that the medicine is bitter. Jun Suanshou praised him for being a good boy. He tells Shen Yu to swallow all of the medicine so that he can get better. Hours passed until it is night time. Jun Suanshou stayed beside his ailing consort, taking care of him. When Shen Yu wakes up, he asks Jun Suanshou where they are, not giving away his anger. Jun Suanshou asks Shen Yu if he understands what he did wrong. He scolds Shen Yu for insisting to sleep by himself and even kicking the blanket off him. If he were okay, as he claimed, he wouldn't catch a cold. Acting like it was no big deal, Shen Yu avoids Jun Suanshou's eyes and tells him not to make a fuss. Annoyed at Shen Yu's stubborn streak even when weakened, Jun Suanshou decides that his consort needs to learn a lesson. He tells Shen Yu that since it's just a cold, then he'd leave him alone. Shen Yu stops him and begged him not to go, and pitifully asked him to treat him more gently. He asked Jun Suanshou to set aside his anger until Shen Yu is cured. Jun Suanshou saw through Shen Yu and knows that the consort will make him stop nagging when he's feeling better. With both hands, Shen Yu holds Jun Suanshou's hands and asks him to stop being angry. Raising his eyebrows at Shen Yu's admittance of his wrongdoing, Jun Suanshou took this change to make Shen Yu promise not to ask Jun Suanshou to leave him alone again. Shen Yu can't tell him no and promises not to do it again. Jun Suanshou takes his hand off Shen Yu's and pats his head. Once Shen Yu is healed, they would leave for the capital, finally going home at last. After a week, the carriage transporting the emperor and his emperor consort arrived in the capital. The emperor steps out, clad in a majestic golden robe. On his back is his sleeping consort dressed in blue robes. An attendant announces his presence, catching Jun Suanshou's attention. In front of him, officials knelt down to bow at him, welcoming Jun Suanshou back to the empire that belongs to him. They are finally home. Jun Suanshou faced the kneeling officials and gestured with his hands to silence them. Luckily, his emperor consort did not wake up from their loud noise. He alighted the steps leading to the main courtyard, with Shen Yu slumbering on his back. Shen Yu unlocked another husband feature. They're also good for piggyback rides. The officials parted quietly, allowing the couple to pass through in silence. The moon shines above them as the emperor enters his seat of domain. Climbing the stairs leading to their residence, Jun Suanshou let out a sound of disbelief. He knows that Shen Yu is only pretending to sleep. He asks him when he woke up. She had admitted that he was awake since Jun Suanshou carried him out of the carriage. Jun Suanshou teasingly asks him why he feigns sleep when he can walk on his own. Shen Yu answered this question by pulling at Jun Suanshou's ears. Rubbing the bears, I meant Jun Suanshou's ears. Shen Yu playfully pulls at them while reasoning that carrying him is not a big deal for someone with endless stamina like Jun Suanshou. Jun Suanshou jolts him in place and tells Shen Yu, while smiling, that he should care for his spouse's well-being. Shen Yu looked up to the moon and asked Jun Suanshou to have a good look at it. In a matter of days, the moon will be full. Jun Suanshou looks up at the star-strewn sky and calls Shen Yu's name wistfully. When Shen Yu asks what he wanted, Jun Suanshou vows that he wants to carry Shen Yu for the rest of his life. That's just beautiful. Asking Shen Yu if that's okay. The consort's eyes widened. Unable to contain his joyful heart, Shen Yu buried his face on Jun Su-on-shou's shoulder. Jun Su-on-shou asks him why he won't answer. Worried that Shen Yu does not like being carried, he can hear Shen Yu's muffled voice telling him that he is unsure. Nervously, he asks Shen Yu why and if he's not enough for him. Tightening his hold on Shen Yu, he asks him what he did wrong or if Shen Yu has not yet moved on from his anger. Shen Yu did not answer for a while. He no longer holds any grudges. He just never thought that this true love can exist. Love is but a thing of fiction. There's no one in the world who will be as loyal to him as Jun Su-on-shou. However, it all feels like fantasy, and Shen Yu fears the day that he wakes up. Shen Yu finally speaks, telling Jun Su-on-shou that they can't be together their whole life. Jun Su-on-shou is 10 years older than Shen Yu, so Jun Su-on-shou may die before him. Shen Yu solemnly continued his musings. He is also not in the best of health and may die earlier. Jun Su-on-shou thinks that Shen Yu is being silly for worrying. Agreeing with Shen Yu, he continued to move forward. The two stayed together in companionable silence until Jun Su-on-shou spoke. He tells Shen Yu that he should die before Jun Su-on-shou. What? Shen Yu quickly hits him on the head for cursing him to die before Jun Su-on-shou. If he dies before his husband, his lifespan would have been shorter than Jun Su-on-shou's. Jun Su-on-shou laughed, which annoyed Shen Yu, who pinched his ears again. Jun Su-on-shou explained that if he dies before Shen Yu, no one will be there to protect his consort. Shen Yu, who has a soft heart and weak body, will only get bullied. Stunned at Jun Su-on-shou's sweet words, Shen Yu blushes as he pointed out that only Jun Su-on-shou would bully him. Jun Su-on-shou insisted that he had good intentions for saying this. They have no children. If only there is someone who can take Jun Su-on-shou's place as Shen Yu's protector, then he can be at peace if he dies before Shen Yu. Also, the one who was left behind will have to suffer in grief and miss the departed. Shen Yu tells him to stop speaking of ominous things. Finally reaching the final steps, Jun Su-on-shou turns to Shen Yu to extract a promise. Should Jun Su-on-shou die before Shen Yu, Shen Yu must do his best to be happy. Should Shen Yu die before Jun Su-on-shou, he asks that Shen Yu wait for him as he would soon follow. When he asks Shen Yu if he agrees, Shen Yu cannot speak. Burrowing his face on Jun Su-on-shou's shoulder, he cries quietly. Jun Su-on-shou asks him what's wrong, upset that he made Shen Yu cry. Shen Yu tells him not to talk about sad stuff as they have a future together. He wants Jun Su-on-shou to stop scaring him. Shen Yu does not fear death, but he fears being separated from Jun Su-on-shou. Lightening the mood, Jun Su-on-shou announces that they are finally home and that he is good at walking. He promised not to speak ominously and allows Shen Yu to hit him to assuage his anger. Shen Yu answers that hitting Jun Su-on-shou is useless as he would only hurt his hands. Finally reaching their room, Jun Su-on-shou tells Shen Yu to step down. Shen Yu placed both feet on the ground but continued to hug Jun Su-on-shou from behind. Confused, Jun Su-on-shou asks Shen Yu what's going on. His consort only shook his head, burying his face on Jun Su-on-shou's back, not letting him go. Surprised, Jun Su-on-shou asks Shen Yu why he's clinging to him. He asks Shen Yu if he wanted to piggyback on again. Shen Yu clings to him and asks where Jun Su-on-shou is going. Jun Su-on-shou gently reached for Shen Yu from behind him. He offered to help Shen Yu with his bath and told him to rest after. Jun Su-on-shou explains that he had all the memorials moved to the throne room. He needs to attend to read through all those memos after being away for so long. Shen Yu hugs him from behind, trying to get him to stay. Shen Yu whines that Jun Su-on-shou will not be able to finish it in one night. For someone who abandoned his duties, it's hypocritical of Jun Su-on-shou to suddenly start caring. Jun Su-on-shou pinched Shen Yu's hip in retaliation, calling him ungrateful. He's the reason why Jun Su-on-shou had to abandon his duties. Shen Yu squirmed at Jun Su-on-shou's pinching and hugged the emperor tighter. While he was holding Jun Su-on-shou, his hands felt a bump from under his clothes. Shen Yu took it upon himself to slip his hand into Jun Su-on-shou's clothes and investigate what is inside. This is such a cute thing between this couple. Shen Yu evolved from being afraid of him to being comfortable enough to get inside his clothes. Shen Yu took out the item from inside Jun Su-on-shou's robe. It is Shen Yu's finger bone. Shen Yu asks him if he carries the bone with him at all times. Jun Suanxiao squirmed as he confessed that he had a jade artisan put a string through it so he could carry it around like a necklace. That's actually creepy. He wanted to make it clear that he is not carrying it around as a key. Shen Yu readily believes him. Jun Suanxiao took off the stringed finger bone and asked Shen Yu if he was blaming him. Shen Yu asks what he would blame Jun Suanxiao for. Jun Suanxiao was aware that the necklace may remind Shen Yu of the suffering he went through because of Jun Suanxiao. Shen Yu holds his hand and, in a soft voice, assures him that he does not blame Jun Suanxiao. Shen Yu leans towards the emperor and kisses him on the cheek. Jun Suanxiao can't believe how Shen Yu can't blame him. Shen Yu cheekily tells him that his opinion would depend on how Jun Suanxiao treats him in the future. Shen Yu contemplates on how much he had changed from a naive mute slate. Jun Suanxiao hugs him, assuring him that he only carries the finger bone to remind himself that he owes Shen Yu a lot, and that he must pay him back with his lifetime devotion. His debt must be paid even in the afterlife. Shen Yu blushes at Jun Suanxiao's sweetness and pushes him off, turning away from the emperor to hide his blush. Jun Suanxiao finds this endearing and invites Shen Yu to continue from where they left off. Jun Suanxiao can't keep in his pants. Shen Yu knows that he should not always give in to Jun Suanxiao's whims. He takes the finger bone from Jun Suanxiao's grasp, telling him to leave and attend to his duties. The emperor made an excuse that he can do it at a later time, and they should indulge one last time before he goes back to being emperor. Shen Yu tells him no, as duty should come first. How the tables have turned. Shen Yu was the one clinging to Jun Suanxiao, almost begging him to stay. The next morning, Shen Yu lurks around the corridors, trying to be sneaky, but Ernest would recognize him and would greet him respectfully. Unable to be away from his lover, Shen Yu peeks inside the throne room where Jun Suanxiao was reading the memorials. He notes that Jun Suanxiao did not join him in bed and feels pity for him. Jun Suanxiao has been working all night. He did leave his job to frolic around with Shen Yu. He'd definitely have a lot of work piled up. Jun Suanxiao reads through the memorials, but he quickly takes notice of Shen Yu and invites him in. Embarrassed at being caught, Shen Yu shouts back that Jun Suanxiao should finish his work. Raising an eyebrow, Jun Suanxiao assures him that he's not interrupting anything and Shen Yu should come closer. Otherwise, Jun Suanxiao will come to him and carry him back to the throne. The advisors turn to Shen Yu and watches him as he walks closer to the throne. Their attention makes Shen Yu uncomfortable, and he hastens his approach. Jun Suanxiao pats the seat beside him, and Shen Yu quickly sits down. Embarrassed, Shen Yu quietly scolds Jun Suanxiao for using such crude language in front of his advisors. Jun Suanxiao placated him by drawing him close. He asked his advisors if there are further matters they wanted to bring up. One of the advisors answered that everything of importance has been reported and requested to be excused. All advisors quickly left, taking this chance to finally rest. Shen Yu felt guilty for interrupting Jun Suanxiao's meeting, regretting that he came to see how he's doing. Jun Suanxiao waved his concerns. The advisors have been standing at the throne room all night and are probably grateful that Shen Yu came. Worried for his lover's well-being, who also worked the whole night while Shen Yu sleeps, Shen Yu holds his hand. Jun Suanxiao watches him in a daze and leans down to kiss his cheek. Jun Suanxiao playfully smiles at Shen Yu, asking him if he truly cares. Taking this opportunity to corner Shen Yu yet again, Jun Suanxiao leans down, teasing his lover. Embarrassed that they are in the throne room, Shen Yu tells him that they should not do it here. Tired to the bone, Jun Suanxiao lays his head down on Shen Yu's lap. Enjoying Shen Yu's comfy lap, Jun Suanxiao raises his leg up on the throne, while Shen Yu chastises him for acting improperly. He tells the emperor to go to bed instead, as Shen Yu's lap is starting to get numb. Jun Suanxiao sweetly begs him to let him stay with Shen Yu before he drifts off to sleep. Shen Yu watches him sleep. Jun Suanxiao must be at his limits. He spent the trip back taking care of the ailing Shen Yu and had to deal with the memorials as soon as he returned. He also had to save you and cater to you lots of times. Shen Yu's heart feels warm while watching the emperor sleep. Jun Suanxiao fell asleep almost as soon as his head hits Shen Yu's lap. It could only mean that Shen Yu makes him feel safe and cared for. A little later, Shen Yu busies himself by reading through the memorials. Jun Suanxiao wakes to Shen Yu's enchanting beauty as he concentrates on what he's reading. He closes his eyes, feigning sleep, but Shen Yu catches him right away, telling him to stop pretending. The emperor consort pulls at his ears like he would a disobedient child and tells him to get off his lap. Jun Suanxiao asks Shen Yu how he knew that he's awake. Shen Yu realized that he's been in tune with Jun Suanxiao's breathing, that he can easily tell if Jun Suanxiao is sleeping. Shen Yu can now tell when he's lying, and Shen Yu feels relieved. Shen Yu tries to stand and stretch his legs, but quickly sat down when he felt a stinging sensation to his legs. Jun Suanxiao slept on his lap for so long that it disrupted the blood flow in his legs. Jun Suanxiao immediately knew what ails Shen Yu and offered to massage his legs to smoothen his meridians. Shen Yu resisted, but Jun Suanxiao grabbed a hold of his legs and proceeded to massage his legs. The two squabbled for a bit until Shen Yu felt better. Jun Suanxiao lifted Shen Yu's leg and pushed him down on the throne, trapping his concubine between his arms. Shen Yu asks him if he's trying to kill him, but Jun Suanxiao only stares at him. Leaning down as if aiming for a kiss, Shen Yu blushes and turns to his side, telling Jun Suanxiao that he feels better now and he should get off him. Jun Suanxiao pinned him down on the throne and seductively tells Shen Yu that he's not fine. He leans down further, seducing Shen Yu, his nose at the juncture of Shen Yu's neck, smelling his alluring scent. Shen Yu asks him to stop, calling him a sniffer dog. Briefly raising his body off his emperor consort, Jun Suanxiao agrees. He finds Shen Yu's scent very addictive, making Jun Suanxiao want him more. He teases Shen Yu until his emperor consort finally gives in. Surprised, Jun Suanxiao looks at him dumbly, while Shen Yu tells him to get off if he's not serious. Jun Suanxiao quickly gathered his wits and proceeded to ravage Shen Yu. The poor emperor consort had to ask him to take it slow, assuring him that he's not going anywhere. From Jun Suanxiao's robes, a ceramic jar slips off and rolls on the ground. Jun Suanxiao quickly leaned over to grab the jar, which baffled Shen Yu. The jar must be important for Jun Suanxiao to pick it up while they are about to do the deed. Shen Yu thinks the jar looks familiar but cannot place where he saw it. Jun Suanxiao looks at the jar contemplatively. He took the pregnancy pill because he wanted a child with Shen Yu. It occurs to him now that Shen Yu may not want it. He knows that those who took the pregnancy pill experienced unimaginable pain. He does not want to cause Shen Yu unnecessary pain. Setting the jar aside, Jun Suanxiao tells Shen Yu not to mind it. He turns his attention on Shen Yu to ravish him. The jar left forgotten on the desk. After 2 months, the Yao King called its vassals to their capital, while Jun Suanxiao eliminated all rebels in Dajing. Song Qing was tasked to reclaim the northern lands, successfully returning victorious after defeating Huyan. Song Qing has been making a name for himself. Meanwhile, Jun Suanxiao tempts Shen Yu to take another bite of food, promising him a treat of sugar-coated haws. Shen Yu, who suddenly became a picky eater, feels queasy at the greasy smell. Shen Yu looks at Jun Suanxiao, pleadingly asks Jun Suanxiao if he can just eat haws instead. As if chastising a stubborn child, Jun Suanxiao told him that he needs to finish the meal before having dessert. Shen Yu forces himself to eat, clearly not enjoying the meal. Jun Suanxiao draws his attention by good news that Shen Yu may want to hear. He explains that Song Qing made a special request. He wanted permission to marry Hong Lian. Shen Yu halts his meal as he looks at his husband stunned. Song Qing will soon marry Hong Lian, and Jun Suanxiao will grant the request. 2 months prior to Shen Yu's hearing the news of Song Qing's request, a brothel was built in the north, replacing the burned-down Qin Huai Pavilion. The brothel is named Qing Lian Pavilion. It quickly became a hotspot in Beidou. The performers at Qing Lian Pavilion are top-notch. The singers have the most captivating voices, the dancers are the most alluring, and the hustlers are all very handsome. Nobles whose preference leans towards male companions would spend so much time there, only leaving once they are utterly spent. What's most intriguing is the reputation of the owner, whom General Song Qing was captivated with. General Song Qing would come to the pavilion every night insisting to see the owner, but is turned away each time. Song Qing quietly sat at a table. A hustler approaches him, offering him company, but Song Qing pays him no mind. Changing his tactic, The hustler tells Song Qing that his attitude is so incomprehensible that it may be the reason why the owner has been avoiding him. Realizing that his attempts are not working, he tells the general that the owner finally asked to see him. Song Qing quickly turns his attention to the hustler, doubting his sincerity. The hustler walks away as he reasons that he gains nothing by lying. Song Qing stands up to follow the hustler. He will finally see Han Lian. The hustler takes him to Han Lian's office, complaining that Song Qing does not give him any attention at all, as he's devoted to Han Lian. He wonders if the general is being anxious as he wouldn't even grant him his simple thanks for taking him to his boss. Han Lian chastises him for not knocking, startling him. Before Song Qing can greet him, Han Lian offers him a seat, telling him that he shall attend to him after having his breakfast. Han Lian spent his morning complaining about the food. They are either too sweet or too tough. The cooks need to be replaced as the breakfast they serve leaves much to be desired. He turns to Song Qing, asking him if he finds his attitude off-putting. Song Qing does not like people who act conceitedly, but he says no word against Han Lian's callousness. He either meekly tells Han Lian to act freely as long as he likes it. Han Lian turns away from him, calling him boring. Worried that Han Lian is leaving his sight yet again, he asks him where he is going. A gilded box is placed on the desk, while Han Lian tells him that it now belongs to Song Qing. The box contains enough taels to pay for Han Lian's expenses while under Song Qing's roof. Song Qing is quick to reject the offer. Worried that Han Lian resorted to return to this kind of work due to a lack of money, Song Qing offered to take him back. Han Lian looks at him, baffled. Finding the situation absurd, he concludes that Song Qing came to give him money. The Qing Lian pavilion is thriving and money is not short. Han Lian does not need his charity. He believes that Song Qing is looking down on him for establishing a business of questionable morals. He asks Song Qing what he hopes to accomplish by visiting for a whole month. Song Qing hesitated briefly, but told him with all sincerity he could muster that he came for Han Lian. Han Lian did not expect such an honest answer and laughed at Song Qing. The general must be kidding. Why would Song Qing want an old man like him when there are younger prostitutes in his employ? He invites Song Qing to keep returning so that he can try them out. He assures him that Song Qing would even forget his name. The general blushes at the offer but brushes it off. Annoyed at his remark, Han Lian asks him to leave. Song Qing grabs his wrist, calling him by his old name. The owner insists that the general got his name wrong. His name is Han Lian, and he demands to not be called Lian moving forward. Furthermore, he tells Song Qing to never come again. His presence at the lobby drives patrons away and is bad for Han Lian's business. Song Qing is undeterred. He tells Han Lian that he shall return tomorrow. Han Lian is annoyed at his answer. He tells Song Qing that he is welcome to return, but he should at least spend money. Otherwise, Han Lian does not want him near his brothel and will not come out to see him. Song Qing insisted that will continue to visit until Han Lian comes home with him. This answer surprised Han Lian. Song Qing repeated what he said. He wanted Han Lian to come live with him again. Embarrassed at his confession, Song Qing sweated bullets waiting for Han Lian's reply. He did not expect Han Lian to agree. Han Lian answered that he would not decline a business offer. As they have a shared past, he offers to give Song Qing a discount for his services. He will go home with Song Qing for 700 tolls. Song Qing is surprised that taking him home would come at a price. Han Lian leans closer, insisting that 700 tolls is a fair price for his services. He challenges Song Qing if 700 tolls is too expensive for the general. Song Qing answered that he's fine with paying. He sets off to get the money. Han Lian is surprised at Song Qing's response. He pulled the price out of his ass and did not expect that the general will take it seriously. He expected him to balk at the price and be insulted. He has no idea that Song Qing would fall for it and can't believe that he's acquainted with this foolish man. Song Qing takes him to Jian Mansion and encourages Han Lian to feel at home and act carelessly as he used to. Han Lian did not expect Song Qing to come up with 700 tolls. He expected that it would take him at least 3 days to come up with the money, but the general quickly brought it to him in the afternoon that day. Song Qing takes him to a room, telling him where he could rest. He teases Song Qing, who always acts like a gentleman. He took the offer of rest as an invitation to sleep together. He tries to seduce him, but all Song Qing can see is the friend he lost. He calls him by his old name, Lian, but Han Lian does not want to hear it, insisting that his name is Han Lian. Song Qing insisted that he is Lian, his old friend. Han Lian took him to the ground, straddling Song Qing. Seducing the general, Hong Lian tells him that names are unimportant and they should focus more on their time together. As he takes Song Qing to wrap around his shoulder, his hand brushes against Hong Lian's birthmark. Song Qing pushes him down in a position reversed. Thinking that Song Qing simply wants this position, he encourages him. After all, he paid a hefty amount to have Hong Lian. Song Qing painfully told him to not humiliate himself further. He arranges Hong Lian's clothes so that he is covered decently, his eyes begging Hong Lian to treat himself better. Hong Lian finds Song Qing's action as insulting. If he does not want to sleep with Hong Lian, why would he spend so much money on him? Song Qing explains that it pains him to see Hong Lian living this kind of life. Hong Lian shot back that it is his only way to make a living. He complains that he is getting old and no other man wants to pay him for his time. He leaves a stunned Song Qing behind. With their first day ending on the wrong foot, Hong Lian is surprised that Song Qing comes back the following day. The general came to visit and invited him back to his mansion, paying him a lot of money. He asked Hong Lian to drink tea with him and read books aloud to him. After 2 weeks, Song Qing's visit became scarce. Hong Lian paced in his office, wondering why Song Qing had not visited in 7 days. One of his underlings reported that Song Qing went to the banks to pawn off some jewelry. He must have used all his cash on hand and visited banks to get more money. He snaps his fan in half, annoyed at Song Qing's single-mindedness. 2 maids came to alert him that someone came to make trouble. Alarmed, Hong Lian asks who it is. An attendant answers that a noble lady came with many underlings to trash the place. A scream is heard from the main hall demanding that the man in charge shows himself. The woman rants at how the son is being cheated off his money. She orders her men to smash all the furniture. Hong Lian recognizes the voice as Song Qing's stepmother. This went on until the afternoon. Song Qing came to visit, bewildered at the state of the pavilion. He looks for Hong Lian. A servant informs him that they are closed that day, and their boss does not want to accept guests. He tells Song Qing to leave. The attendant thinks that Song Qing is thick-faced to dare come to the pavilion after his stepmother came to trouble them. But Song Qing walked right in. To the indignant grumbling of the servant, Hong Lian comes out. He graciously told the servant to get a seat for Song Qing and serve him. Song Qing calls him by the old name Lian. Song Qing brazenly told him that he came to get him. Hong Lian countered that it is not a good time as his schedule is full. He was invited to visit Lord Qian in the Eastern District. Song Qing is stunned by this answer. Hong Lian tells him that he heard correctly and he has to leave soon. Song Qing protests as Hong Lian promised that he will go with Song Qing. He probably expects exclusivity. Hong Lian explains that he may have given his word to attend to Song Qing, but it does not mean that they are exclusive. He can't hold his breath for someone who disappeared for 2 weeks. Who's to say that he has not forgotten Hong Lian? Hong Lian's living depends on his patrons, and can't wait for one who has not visited. Song Qing pulls out a stack of money and puts it in Hong Lian's hand. He insists that Hong Lian comes with him as he has the money to pay him. He's even offering to pay him double the usual asking fee. Hong Lian declines as he needs to attend to his guests on a first-come, first-served basis. That's very professional Hong Lian. He explains that Lord Qian paid him upfront for his services of up to 2 weeks. He also tells him that he was invited by the Zhou Mansion in the west and the Wang Mansion from the north. He's so busy that his schedule won't be open until the following year. He turns his back on Song Qing, ordering the hustlers to attend to him in his place. Hustlers swarm to the general, while he struggled to call after Lian. Song Qing is able to catch up to Hong Lian, still begging him to come with him instead. Hong Lian rounds on him, telling him that he's acting like a wronged husband. He wanted Song Qing to understand that he has no hold on Hong Lian. Hong Lian enters the carriage, shutting the door on Song Qing's face. As the carriage moves forward, Song Qing kept on slapping the side to make it stop, running alongside the carriage, screaming for Hong Lian to get off the carriage, promising to give him anything he wanted, promising to marry him. His speed is no match for the horse drawing the carriage. Soon, Hong Lian cannot hear his screams. He covers his face in despair, hoping that Song Qing would stop visiting him as the Lian that Song Qing loved is long dead. It delights Shen Yu to learn that Song Qing asked to tie the knot with Hong Lian and begged Jun Xuanxiu to visit the north and attend their wedding. Jun Xuanxiu was opposed to the idea and would prefer Song Qing to hold his wedding in the capital. However, Shen Yu kept on pestering him about it until he finally relented. Jun Xuanxiu looked like he already regrets his decision as things are going well in the capital. He agreed to spare some time to travel back to the north. Flanked by soldiers and their retinue, the two prepared to leave to attend Song Qing's wedding. In the comfort of their carriage, Jun Su Anxiao wasted no time to be intimate with Shen Yu. Reluctant that they are doing this in the light of day, with so many people outside the carriage to hear them, Shen Yu tries to push him off. There goes the horny emperor again. Shen Yu threatens to cut Jun Su Anxiao birdie with a pair of scissors. The emperor cheekily tells him that he'd need an axe to cut off his thing. Jun Su Anxiao tries to convince him that they must take this chance to be intimate, and as they did not have much opportunity to spend time with each other. He nobbly pulls down his pants to show Shen Yu how eager he is. Naughty Jun Su Anxiao. He hugs Shen Yu while asking him what they should do about it. Shen Yu bites him to make him stop. Essays Jun Su Anxiao further, telling Shen Yu to keep his promise. Looks like they made a deal beforehand. Jun Su Anxiao contemplates how willful Shen Yu has gotten, but his skittish nature only excites him more. He finally puts Shen Yu down, pushing him down on the carriage floor. Shen Yu took this opportunity to squirm out of his grasp and kick Jun Su Anxiao in the nuts. Jun Su Anxiao grits his teeth in pain, asking Shen Yu to be more gentle with him. Jun Su Anxiao tried to convince Shen Yu to play with him, but Shen Yu blames Jun Su Anxiao for being in pain every day. Shen Yu felt sick, covering his face as he felt nausea. Jun Su Anxiao comforts the ailing Shen Yu, who looks like he is about to throw up. Shen Yu insists that he is fine. Jun Su Anxiao felt his skin and observed that his consort does not seem to have a fever, and there were no other symptoms aside from his pale complexion. Shen Yu was feeling fine prior to leaving but suddenly got sick. This worries Jun Su Anxiao and tells Shen Yu that they should return to the capital where the imperial doctor can attend to Shen Yu. The emperor consort insists that they should continue with their journey. He reasons that it must have been the carriage going too fast and the road being too bumpy. He begs Jun Su Anxiao that they should proceed as planned. Shen Yu's eagerness moved Jun Su Anxiao to agree. To make it easier for Shen Yu, he'll ask the driver to drive slowly and for Shen Yu to take a nap once they arrive at the next rest stop. At the closest rest stop, the courtier station, they arrived at lunchtime, and Jun Su Anxiao asked the royal chef to prepare Shen Yu's favorite dishes. Shen Yu looks at the wide array of feed in disgust. The greasiness is making him queasy. To avoid eating, he tells Jun Su Anxiao that he will eat at a later time. But Jun Su Anxiao sets his foot down, insisting that Shen Yu eat or he will haul them back to the capital. Shen Yu pushed down the queasy feeling and forced himself to eat. Almost as soon as he started eating, he drops the piece of meat he'd been nibbling and vomited. Jun Su Anxiao quickly went over to Shen Yu to comfort his emperor consort. Shen Yu lies down to rest. Jun Su Anxiao regrets forcing him to eat. He thought that his condition will get better if Jun Su Anxiao takes care of him, but his condition is only getting worse. He once again suggested that they return to the capital so that the doctors can treat Shen Yu. Shen Yu refuses. He explains that he's been feeling weak and sleepy in the past few days and he just needs to lie down. Shen Yu sweetly begged him to continue with the journey as he really wants to attend their friend's wedding. He assuaged Jun Su Anxiao's concerns by promising that he'd allow Bian Shixi to check him once they arrive in North City. Jun Su Anxiao listened to Shen Yu's pleas and told Shen Yu to rest while he orders the chef to cook light food for Shen Yu. Knowing his concubine's preference, he offers to get him sugar-coated haws. Shen Yu nods quickly, eager for the sweet treats. Jun Su Anxiao took 3 steps back, unable to leave Shen Yu. He tells Shen Yu to notify him when he's not feeling well. Shen Yu assures him that he's fine. Unbeknownst to Jun Su Anxiao, Shen Yu has an inkling of what's wrong with him. His symptoms can mean that he's about to have a baby. A baby? Did Jun Su Anxiao made him take the pills? Song Qing has not returned to Qing Lian Pavilion since Han Lian pretended to meet another patron. Han Lian is the image of someone who achieved everything he wanted, but everyone can tell that he is somehow different. One of those instances was when he was bathing. He is so out of it that he did not realize that he rubbed his skin so vigorously that he became bruised. He scalded his tongue in hot tea and leaves very early and returns very late. During one of these mornings, Han Lian leaves very early and is surprised to see Song Qing approaching him. Han Lian quickly turned back to enter his pavilion, only for Song Qing to stop the door from closing. The servant is unable to stop him from entering. Han Lian him for intruding in his business, but his scathing remarks were halted when he saw how the other man was dressed. Song Qing wears a red wedding robe, his expression full of purpose. He had come to marry Han Lian. He came to collect his bride. Han Lian stared at him dumbly and let out a chuckle at the absurdity of the situation. His giggles morphed into full-on laughter. Song Qing asks him what's so funny, to which Han Lian remarked that Song Qing looked ridiculous, dressed as a groom. Annoyed, Song Qing grabs his wrist and drags him out of the pavilion. Han Lian threatened that he would scream, but Song Qing lifted him up on the horses and mounted it behind him. Song Qing shot back that Han Lian once said that the only one who wanted to take him home must first marry him, and Song Qing is doing just that. Han Lian tried to reason with him, telling Song Qing that he did not agree to this marriage and that all this is Song Qing's wishful thinking. Song Qing did not listen to reasons and still wants to marry him. Still addressing Han Lian as Lian, he asks him if he does not have any feelings for him. If he felt nothing for Song Qing, then why would he come with him to the capital? Han Lian answered that it was an impulsive decision and asked Song Qing why he wanted to marry Han Lian. By marrying someone who sells his body, Song Qing's reputation will be in tatters. Song Qing tells him that Han Lian can't be fooled. He knows that Han Lian is not meeting up with those patrons. He knows that Han Lian goes to the countryside just to avoid Song Qing. He knows that Han Lian feels for him. Han Lian did not expect that Song Qing knew of the lies he weaved. He decided to humor him for now and escape as soon as he gets the chance. Their status is night and day. Someone as dirty as him does not deserve Song Qing. They travel through the main streets, catching the attention of many passers-by. All of them are congratulating Song Qing and asking to be invited to the wedding. Han Lian is obviously uncomfortable and he bows down to hide his hair. The bumpy ride makes him nauseous. Everything felt surreal, and he did not realize that they had arrived at Song Qing's home. All Han Lian can see is red. The gates of the mansion reminds him of the traumatizing sight of his massacred family. Their blood forever is stained on the entrance of the mansion and his memory. Han Lian is brought back to the time when his family was prosecuted. Bodies lay lifeless at the gates, everyone running for their lives. Han Lian feels dread as the daunting memory plays in his mind's eye. The sound of a gong's ringing and the crackling of fireworks brings him back to the present. Servants approached them as their horse got nearer to the mansion. A second look at the mansion's gate made him realize that the vision he saw is from a long time ago. Whilst his memory plays a gory sight, the view before him is of a happy occasion. People frolic around, full of life, joy, and laughter. Song Qing assists him in getting down the horse. Han Lian purses his lips. The redness of the decor reminds him of his gruesome past. His family was raided, and all of their assets seized. Without a trial, his entire family was executed. To shame them further, the Yu mansion was burned to the ground, marring the skies in a bright red hue, similar to the redness of the wedding decor. Lian was the only one to survive, but his suffering did not end there. He was captured and sold to a life of much worse than death. He was sold to Qin Huai Pavilion. 5 times he tried to escape, and 5 times he was caught. Finally accepting his fate, his body covered by his own blood, he finally accepted that the color red is a part of him. He changed his name to Han Lian. The word Han means to see red. It could also mean to be angry or embarrassed. It was then that Han Lian stopped caring. He started to act wanton and unscrupulous. Servants and guests greeted them, all of them, unable to see Han Lian's inner turmoil. When Song Qing came wearing the red wedding robes, Han Lian was frightened. Someone like him will only stain Song Qing's red robes. Song Qing happily took the red robes from a maid and put them on Han Lian. Calling him by his old name, Song Qing asks him what's wrong. Han Lian tells him that he wants to leave. Song Qing tenderly pulls Han Lian's hair back away from his face and sees that his bride is as pale as a ghost. Han Lian begs him to let him go. My heart goes for Han Lian. He's clearly traumatized. He's always been proud and cocky, but this is obviously scaring him. Song Qing is shocked to see Han Lian so scared. Han Lian points out the difference in their status. Song Qing is the great commander of the north, while Han Lian is a destitute case who is the lowest of the low. They are unfit for each other. Song Qing cannot accept this excuse. If there is someone who doesn't deserve the other, it is Song Qing who does not deserve Lian. Lian shines brighter than anyone, while Song Qing is but a mediocre person. Marrying Lian is a blessing that Song Qing can only hope for. Han Lian pushes him away. Unconvinced, he tells Song Qing that Lian has long died when his family was massacred. Song Qing insists that Han Lian may have changed his name, but he remains the same person. Han Lian asks him if Song Qing is marrying the memory of his well-to-do friend, who was privileged, or the cheap worker from Qin Pavilion. Song Qing does not understand as to him. Hong Lian and Li Honor are the same person. Hong Lian asks if he were not Li Honor, but a nameless product of Qin Pavilion, would Song Qing still love him? Song Qing is speechless, thinking that he finally got through to Song Qing. Hong Lian grabs the red robe he's wearing, about to take it off. Song Qing loves the smart, pure, and kind Li Honor, not the dirty, cheap Hong Lian. As further proof, he pointed out that Song Qing only calls him by the old name. He throws the wedding robes at Song Qing, accusing him of being embarrassed of his new name, of what his former love has become. Hong Lian turns around, ready to leave, but Song Qing stops him in his tracks. Holding Hong Lian's wedding robes, Song Qing explains that Lian and Hong Lian are one and the same, and there's no need to make such a distinction. Hong Lian insists that it is important as people change. He takes the blame for approaching Song Qing. If Song Qing can't tell the difference, then he can just pretend that the Li Honor he loved is long gone. Song Qing steps closer to the retreating Hong Lian, grabbing him by the waist. He asks Hong Lian why he would think that Song Qing does not love him. The one Song Qing loves is Hong Lian. The person he will marry is Hong Lian. He finally addresses Lian by his new name, which is all Hong Lian wanted. Song Qing apologized for dwelling in the past and failing to see that Hong Lian has changed. He promised to look at Hong Lian as he is in the present and not love a cherished memory. He reminds Hong Lian of a game they used to play when they were young. They would pretend as groom and bride. Song Qing would pretend to be the groom who came to pick up his bride, a role that Lian plays. Young Song Qing would attach red paper talismans wishing for happiness on the horse and pick up Li Honor. When they got older, Li Honor refused to play the game, calling it silly. Song Qing tells him that today is similar to the game. Song Qing put up the decor consisting of red lanterns and paper symbols. He asks Hong Lian to pretend that they are only playing and leave everything up to Song Qing. Finally, Song Qing confessed his love for Hong Lian. Seeing that Hong Lian still doubts him, Song Qing asks Hong Lian to blindly enter this union with him and observe how Song Qing would treat him. Should Song Qing's heart change in the future, Song Qing will invoke the heavens to strike him. He invites Hong Lian to come with him. Dumbly, Hong Lian asks what he plans to do. Song Qing looks back at him, telling him that they will be wed. After playing pick up the bride many times when they were children, they will finally do it for real. Things may have changed, but Song Qing's love did not. When they enter the mansion, the emperor and emperor consort are waiting for them. Song Qing tells Hong Lian that if he has feelings for him, then he should put his trust in Song Qing. If he feels nothing, then he can reject him when they say their vows. It's like Song Qing is reeling him in one step at a time. They proceeded with the ceremony, with Song Qing taking the lead. Song leads the prayer for heaven and earth, then a prayer for their ancestors. Song Qing explains that he banished his stepmother who caused trouble at Qin Pavilion, to assure Hong Lian that no one will interrupt their wedding. As both have lost their parents, they only have each other to thank. As Song Qing is about to pronounce them as husbands, Hong Lian interrupts him. What is it? Now? Patiently, Song Qing encouraged him to talk. Hong Lian needed to ask what has been bothering him before proceeding with this marriage. He tells Song Qing that he has been sullied by many people, like a pair of worn-out shoes. He's been stuck in a hellish state that he was unable to break away from. He asks Song Qing if he does not fear such scrutiny and humiliation, being associated with someone like him, more so by marrying him. Song Qing's reputation will be ruined and men will look down on him. Song Qing readily answered that he doesn't care. Hong Lian pointed out that he can't bear him children, and that Song Qing might regret not having heirs to continue the family line. Without hesitation, Song Qing tells him that he won't regret. After all, he's not marrying Hong Lian to give him heirs. Finally, Hong Lian pointed out that the law prohibits two men from marrying. Song Qing shows him an imperial decree allowing them to marry. He got everything covered. He came ready. Song Qing explains that he came to Hong Lian right away as soon as he received the emperor's permission. The decree came from the emperor himself, who even took the time to attend their wedding. Being the supportive friend that he is, Shen Yu waves at them. Song Qing places the decree on the desk, allowing Hong Lian to read it. He then cheekily turns to Hong Lian that he would be defying the emperor if he does not agree to the marriage. Having no further reason to reject the marriage, Hong Lian had no other choice but to marry Song Qing. After 3 days, Song Qing enjoys a drink with the emperor, telling him repeatedly how happy he has been. Never in his wild thoughts Did he ever think that he could marry his childhood friend, Lian? Jun Suanxiao sipped his drink, telling Song Qing that he is happy for him. Inside, the emperor is seething. He expected to spend a lot of intimate time with Shen Yu. Once they arrived in North City, he did not expect Shen Yu to completely ignore him after reuniting with Hong Lian and Bian Shi. He envies Song Qing's obvious happiness and suspects that the other man must be getting more action than Jun Suanxiao. Song Qing invites the emperor to stay longer as Hong Lian must be chatting with Shen Yu and Bian Shi. Acting like a diligent husband, Jun Suanxiao declines, keeping up the appearance of a man who has been getting a lot of action. He lies about Shen Yu being too clingy that he was kept busy night and day. Song Qing expresses his envy as Hong Lian refused to sleep with him after the wedding night. Jun Suanxiao felt better at hearing that they are on the same boat. He decided to give the recently wed man some well-meaning advice. Whilst it's alright to spoil their spouse, they should not let them take the reins, otherwise they will not respect them. After imparting this piece of wisdom, Jun Suanxiao takes his leave to pick up Shen Yu, or his emperor consort may worry. I highly doubt that. Song Qing tags along to pick up Hong Lian. The two walk through the corridors to the room where their spouses are lounging. As they near the room, they hear scuffling and some suspiciously worded phrases. Song Qing reasons that their spouses must be enjoying their time together, and that they probably should not interrupt. Undeterred, Jun Suanxiao knocks on the door, expecting Shen Yu to come out when he calls. Contrary to what Jun Suanxiao expected, Shen Yu told them not to come in. Hoping to spend the night intimately with Shen Yu, Jun Suanxiao hints that they should sleep early. Disappointingly, Shen Yu tells him to sleep alone. Trying to push his luck, Jun Suanxiao asks at what time they'll call it a day. Shen Yu answered that he will sleep over with Hong Lian and Bian Shi. The thought alarms Jun Suanxiao. 3 men sleeping together. How scandalous. Looking at the situation objectively, the 2 other men in the room do not pose a threat to him. The power bottom and the eternal virgin. Worried about Shen Yu's health, Jun Suanxiao tries to convince Shen Yu to stay the night with him so he can take care of him. Shen Yu hesitated, unable to tell Jun Suanxiao that he is the reason he is unwell. Shen Yu turns away from the door and shouted at his spouse to leave him alone as Bian Shi is with him. Song Qing invites Jun Suanxiao for another round of drinking while they wait for their spouse. Deflated, but seemingly suspicious, Jun Suanxiao wonders why Shen Yu is adamant that he leaves them alone. What are those 3 doing in the room? Are you going back to your jealous ways? Shen Yu listens by the door, making sure that his husband has already left. The skittish bunny, Shen Yu, is startled by Hong Lian urging him to come back to bed. Shen Yu asks if there's a way out of what they are about to do, to which Hong Lian insists that they already agreed to it and that Shen Yu must keep his promise. They told Shen Yu to relax and made him lie down on the bed. The 2 spent the next few minutes just staring at the bump on Shen Yu's belly. Disbelieving, Hong Lian reasons that craving for sour fruits does not mean anything. He also likes sour fruits and asks Bian Shi to check him, too. Affronted, Bian Shi challenges him for questioning his diagnosis. Hong Lian shoots back at Bian Shi that he would have believed him if the good doctor can make him hard. The doctor defended that he's not as perverted as Hong Lian. Teasing Bian Shi, Hong Lian mocks him for being a virgin, to which the good doctor defends that he is merely abstaining. Getting tired of their argument, Bian Shi gave up as he's too lazy to argue. Hong Lian asks Shen Yu if he can take another look. Shen Yu tried to squirm away from his hold and tells Hong Lian to look at his own belly. Like sinister siblings, Hong Lian and Bian Shi shared a look and grabbed Shen Yu, undressing him until his chest and belly was exposed. The 2 observed Shen Yu's belly in quiet awe. Shen Yu embarrassedly asked them to stop. Hong Lian admits that it is indeed a miracle. Bian Shi comments that Jun Suanxiao is indeed extraordinary to make this happen to Shen Yu, but Bian Shi also suspects that Shen Yu must have gotten fat. Shen Yu hugs his robes to himself, annoyed that his attempts to explain this situation for the past 2 days has been for naught. He pulls out a small jar of pregnancy pills from his sleeves and shows them to the 2. Hong Lian catches it in his hands and raises it to the light, inspecting the jar. Fleetingly, he wonders if it is also possible that he could get pregnant. Shen Yu explains that the pills only work on descendants of the Chu clan. If Hong Lian were to take it, it will only be as good as a blood-replenishing pill. Realizing that the pills will not give him the desired effect, Lian throws the jar back to Shen Yu. Shen Yu does not want to hold onto the jar, as he finds its presence embarrassing. Bianxisi quickly took the pills from Shen Yu's hand so that he could use it for research purposes. Lian noticed one bit of information. The pills only works on those with the Chu bloodline, but only Shen Yu is a descendant of the Chu clan. A cheeky thought plays in Lian's head, asking Shen Yu how brazen he is for cheating on Jun Suanxiao. Shen Yu pinches him on the stomach, chastising him for talking nonsense. Being a man of science, Bianxisi explains that if Shen Yu cheated, he would have conceived while he was with the Chu clan. He estimates that Shen Yu is 2 months pregnant, which is after he returned to the capital with Jun Suanxiao. Lian asks Bianxisi to explain how Shen Yu got pregnant. Bianxisi explains that the pill will probably work as long as one of the participants is a member of the Chu clan. Unconvinced, Lian tells Shen Yu to abort the child before Jun Suanxiao learns about Shen Yu's pregnancy. They can all pretend that none of this ever happened. A loud noise is heard as Jun Suanxiao barges in the room. His eyes are fierce as they glare at Shen Yu. Did he hear Lian's foolish ranting? Bianxisi and Lian huddle together in fear. The two fights like cats and dogs, but hugs each other at the sign of danger. Shen Yu wraps a blanket around him as protection. He asked Jun Suanxiao what he's doing here when Shen Yu asked him to leave. The wood that Jun Suanxiao is holding snaps in two upon hearing Shen Yu's callous remark. His eyes bore down on his emperor consort, almost unforgiving as he asks him when it happened. Bianxisi and Lian sneaked around him, getting away from the line of fire. Lian asks his husband what set the emperor off. Songqing explains that he did not know that the emperor is not aware of Shen Yu's condition, and mentioned it while they were drinking. In his shock, Jun Suanxiao broke a wine jug and rushed over to the room. Lian scolded him for being such a blabbermouth, worried that Jun Suanxiao may discover that the pill only works for descendants of the Chu clan. Bianxisi walks briskly ahead of them, intent on getting out of there. Once they were finally alone, Jun Suanxiao stares at Shen Yu intently, bothered by his silence. Shen Yu asks him what he wants to know. Jun Suanxiao did say that he loves Shen Yu and has treated him so well. Shen Yu forgot how jealous Jun Suanxiao was and how cruel he could be. Shen Yu fears that he may be reverting to his old nature and is prone to being suspicious yet again. Shen Yu worries that Jun Suanxiao might have heard Lian's silly conclusions. The two stares at each other. It bothers Shen Yu that Jun Suanxiao is not saying anything. Shen Yu holds his belly from under the blanket. Should Jun Suanxiao suspect him of cheating, Shen Yu will get rid of the baby. He thinks that it is stupid to take the pregnancy pill. Angry at himself and sad that he might be forced to abort, Shen Yu shrank further into himself. Jun Suanxiao notices this change in Shen Yu and asks when it happened. He pulls down the blanket covering Shen Yu's head so that he's forced to look at him. He threw away all the pregnancy pills, so how did this happen? Shen Yu admits he took them secretly when Jun Suanxiao is unaware. Jun Suanxiao is speechless. He leans closer to Shen Yu, his face disbelieving. Shen Yu looks away in guilt and asks what the emperor is trying to get at. Jun Suanxiao laughed incredulously, Shen Yu's skittish nature finally making sense. He leans even closer to Shen Yu's stomach, demanding to have a look. Shen Yu pushes him away, annoyed that everyone has been asking to look at his belly, making him feel like some freak show. Jun Suanxiao complains at being denied. Shen Yu's belly is Jun Suanxiao's business. Shen Yu insists that it is nothing to brag about and he does not want people gawking at him. Jun Suanxiao insists that he should be proud, as it will make his ancestors happy. Shen Yu finally agrees, and the bear exclaimed in delight. Jun Suanxiao lowers his head to Shen Yu's stomach. He hears a rumbling sound and took it as his child communicating with him from Shen Yu's belly. He suddenly became the fetus whisperer. Shen Yu tells him that it's just his stomach's rumbling. Realizing how stupid he was, Jun Suanxiao sheepishly tells Shen Yu that he had no way of knowing. Changing the topic, he offers to get Shen Yu something to abate his hunger. Surprised at this change of behavior, Shen Yu asks him who he's being so attentive for. Jun Suanxiao looks back at him, sweetly telling him that it is all for Shen Yu, and playfully kisses him fiercely on the cheeks. Jun Su-on pulls back, revering Shen Yu's name and if he just gave him the best gift to mankind. Shen Yu can only look down shyly and accept his husband's overbearing love and affection. Jun Su-on cheerfully ordered the chef to cook nutritious medicinal food and snacks for Shen Yu. Jun Su-on took great care to attend to Shen Yu's needs. Little by little, Shen Yu's appetite returned and his condition improved. Shen Yu yawns. Jun Su-on frets over every little thing. He wanted to make sure that Shen Yu is not cold, that the pillows are not too tough, that he does not sleep right after eating. He's increasingly becoming more and more overbearing and anxious. Annoyed at the excessive attention, Shen Yu tells him to stop fretting as he's already too sleepy. He threatens Jun Su-on that he does not stop talking. Shen Yu won't let him become a father. Jun Su-on acquiesces to Shen Yu's request and tucks him in. Instead of lying down beside him or going away, Jun Su-on sits beside him, guarding him like some loyal watchdog. Shen Yu pulls at his clothes, asking his husband why he's not sleeping. Jun Su-on is flattered that Shen Yu asks him to sleep with him, when just a few nights ago, he'd been adamant of getting rid of him. Jun Su-on tells him that he'd rather guard Shen Yu while he sleeps. Shen Yu asks why he would do that. Jun Su-on faced him and with all seriousness admits to being afraid that he may interrupt Shen Yu's sleep when he moves a lot during the night. Touched by Jun Su-on's concern, Shen Yu holds his hand and directs it to his belly. He invites him to sleep with him and their unborn baby. Jun Su-on felt an overwhelming sense of purpose and happiness. He relented to Shen Yu's request, took off his robes and joined his emperor consort in bed. Shen Yu, surprised that he had to resort to such tactics to get the emperor to sleep beside him. Deeper into the night, Shen Yu notices that Jun Su-on is not moving. For a hulking figure that is Jun Su-on, he does his best to occupy as little space as he could to avoid crushing Shen Yu in his sleep. He even sleeps at the edge of the bed so that Shen Yu does not fall off. All his efforts are actually very sweet. Shen Yu scooted closer to him. Jun Su-on tells Shen Yu to be careful with his stomach. Shen Yu sidled up closer to him, wanting to feel his warmth. Jun Su-on hugs Shen Yu, giving him the warmth he's craving. Shen Yu closes his eyes, secured in the arms of the one he loves, secure that there is a future with him. Morning came. Jun Su-on sleeps at the edge of the bed while Shen Yu huddles closely to him in their sleep. The mighty emperor soon falls off the bed, standing up abruptly alarmed. He calls Shen Yu, asking if he's all right. Shen Yu rubs the sleepiness from his eyes, asking his husband why he's yelling so early in the morning. Jun Su-on explains that he thought Shen Yu fell off the bed with him. During the night, Shen Yu would scoot over to him, forcing him to sleep closer to the edge, worried that he might accidentally crush Shen Yu in his sleep. Shen Yu tells him that he does not need to worry. Jun Su-on throws an arm around Shen Yu and claims that he should be given credit, as he did a lot of hard labor. Shen Yu leans on him, asking what Jun Su-on did to be considered hard labor when it is Shen Yu who is nauseous and would be feeling the pain of bringing their child to the world in a few months. Jun Su-on teasingly tells him that he did contribute a lot. Carrying Shen Yu around, cuddling him, and feeding him are all hard work, and not everyone can do it. Flustered, Shen Yu punches his jaw to get him to stop talking about indecent things. Jun Su-on asks him how he could be indecent when what happens between them stays in the bedroom. Shen Yu petulantly looks away from him, saying that anyone can do a good job as much as Jun Su-on can. The emperor does not like this answer, so he tickles Shen Yu in retaliation. Shen Yu finally admits that it is Jun Su-on he wants, begging him to stop. Jun Su-on finds this disheveled look on Shen Yu very seductive, so he leans down and bites in the juncture of his collarbone. Shen Yu pushes him away, while an excited Jun Su-on admits to being playful and even asks Shen Yu to bite him too. Shen Yu keeps resisting, but Jun Su-on unrelentlessly teases him. The playful emperor asks his emperor consort if he's no longer upset. Holding back a smile, Shen Yu tells him that he can't be mad at something so small. Shen Yu tells him that he's hungry. Jun Su-on sat up and told Shen Yu to ride on his back so that he could take him to get breakfast. Shen Yu tells him that Jun Su-on does not need to carry him around like a delicate girl or an invalid. Jun Su-on insists that Shen Yu is his wife, and he could just consider it as Jun Su-on's morning exercise. Shen Yu decided to let it go and hopped on to Jun Su Anxiao's awaiting back, telling him that they should wash up first. Shen Yu sighs while Jun Su Anxiao carries him on his back. Jun Su Anxiao took notice and asks him what's wrong. Shen Yu expressed how he observes that things have changed unexpectedly. Right now, he's very happy and content that he fears losing it again someday. He may never recover if Jun Su Anxiao decides to leave him. Jun Su Anxiao assures him that he will always be with Shen Yu and will carry him around as long as Shen Yu wants him to. Shen Yu laments that Jun Su Anxiao might fall in love with someone else in the future. The emperor thinks that Shen Yu's fear is baseless and absurd. Shen Yu reasons that with Jun Su Anxiao's lecherous past, it is not impossible for him to want someone else. Jun Su Anxiao lets out a sigh of his own and admits to Shen Yu that he never knew true love before meeting him and promises to be with Shen Yu until he draws his last breath. Shen Yu contemplates that there is truth to Jun Su Anxiao's words. He has changed for the better, and Shen Yu admits that he's scared of losing this because everything that has happened are too good to be true. As they walk through the corridor, Shen Yu tells Jun Su Anxiao to stop. He remembers that at around the same time last year, Shen Yu came to the Wang mansion as Jun Su Anxiao's bride. It's been a year since their wedding. Shen Yu learned from a proud Han Lian that Qing hummed the wedding decorations himself. Han Lian was borderline bragging when he tells Shen Yu this, which made Shen Yu ask Jun Su Anxiao if he spent the same effort for their wedding. Jun Su Anxiao cannot answer the question without getting in trouble. Surely, he made the servants do it. Shen Yu admits that he was too scared after leaving the Shen mansion that he didn't look around to appreciate the decor. He could only hear the firecrackers and the loud noises. But other than that, he is not aware of what's happening around him. Jun Su Anxiao suggested that they have another wedding so that Shen Yu can enjoy it. Shen Yu declines, pointing out that they are not merely playing and they can't just redo the wedding. In spite of everything that happened, Shen Yu knows one thing for sure. He knows that Jun Su Anxiao loves him, and it's all that matters. The royal couple decides to spend the rest of the time in Beidou staying at the Wang mansion. As their stay got longer, Shen Yu lost the yearning to go out and got sick of living in the mansion. He would invite Hong Lian and Bian Shixi to play cards to keep himself occupied. Meanwhile, Jun Su Anxiao would frequently visit the army to discuss strategies with Song Qing on how to defeat their northern enemies. He was preoccupied by the meetings that he spends less and less time with Shen Yu. Jun Su Anxiao sneaks inside their bedroom, thinking that Shen Yu must have already fallen asleep. Little did he know that Shen Yu has been waiting for him. When asked why he's still awake, Shen Yu explained that he has slept a lot during the day and he finds it hard to sleep now. Jun Su Anxiao covers him with his cloak, protecting him from the cold, urging him to stay warm. He holds Shen Yu's hand, commenting on how cold they are, and using his hands to warm him up. Noticing that Jun Su Anxiao's pocket is bulging, Shen Yu asks if he has a surprise for him. Jun Su Anxiao proudly pulled out a bundle from his pocket and presented them to Shen Yu. There are bibs, little shoes, and toys in the bundle. The gifts are for the baby, and Jun Su Anxiao even told the seamstress to use less gold and silver threads to make them comfortable. He even arranged for a wet nurse to make sure that their baby does not go hungry and cleared out a room to convert it to a nursery. One look at Shen Yu shows that he is unimpressed, asking him what's wrong. Shen Yu answered that the first are all for the baby and there is nothing for him. Jun Su Anxiao is unable to understand as he sees Shen Yu and the baby as one. Shen Yu complains that his and the child's gifts should be different. Jun Su Anxiao's head is filled with thoughts of the baby, and Shen Yu fears that there won't be space for him once the baby is born. Jun Su Anxiao's concern is limited to continuing his lineage and honoring his family. Jun Su Anxiao finally understands. He lifts up Shen Yu's face and apologizes. He recognizes his suffering, but if he does not want Shen Yu's sacrifices to go to waste, then it's only natural that he would love the baby. Shen Yu sees the logic in this reason and calls Jun Su Anxiao a sweet talker. Jun Su Anxiao insists that he is sincere. If Shen Yu had not taken the pregnancy pill, then there won't be a baby for him to fret over. Shen Yu tells Jun Su Anxiao to stop talking nonsense as the baby might hear him and hold a grudge. Jun Su Anxiao kisses Shen Yu, who feels foolish at being jealous of his unborn baby. Jun Su Anxiao already has a lot on his plate, and he takes the time to comfort Shen Yu. startled at Jun Suanxiao carrying him off the ground. Shen Yu can only sit there dumbly as Jun Suanxiao decides to take him out of the mansion to alleviate Shen Yu's boredom. Visiting the hot springs, the royal couple sits down by the large pool while Jun Suanxiao combs through Shen Yu's long hair. Shen Yu notices that his husband is uncharacteristically quiet. Jun Suanxiao shot back that Shen Yu once mentioned that his manners are appalling, to which Shen Yu answered that he has no recollection of ever saying such things. Jun Suanxiao mentions that if they should talk, they should decide on the baby's name. Shen Yu realized that he has yet to think of a name. Basking in their dreamlike life together, he has not thought of anything else. Jun Suanxiao suggests the name Qiyu, a name which Shen Yu finds a little weird. The name is both Jun Suanxiao's family name and Shen Yu's given name, which makes it perfect. The name also represents Jun Suanxiao's unrelenting feelings for Shen Yu. Shen Yu swats at him asking what the word Qi means. Jun Suanxiao answered that it means lofty goals. Shen Yu threatens to someday tell their baby of his name's origin and have Jun Suanxiao be the one to explain it. Shen Yu suspects that Qi means to ride, as in him being on top of Jun Suanxiao. Jun Suanxiao teases him some more, saying that the word ride is also acceptable. Shen Yu suspects that something bad had happened and that Jun Suanxiao was hiding something from him. The emperor asks him why he would think that way. Shen Yu observed that Jun Suanxiao has been unusually attentive towards him, even buying the baby enough clothes to last for up to 3 years, and preparing that everything has been set up for him, and now giving the baby a name. There must be something that Jun Suanxiao is hiding from Shen Yu. After a long pause, Jun Suanxiao holds Shen Yu's hands and tells him that he must go on a conquest against their northern enemies. Xiaoyu has been a big threat for Dajing. With the Huyana tribe defeated, and the Xiaoyu's military might having been weakened, is the best time to strike. Qing is definitely capable, but the remaining tribes are hard to deal with, requiring Jun Suanxiao's attention. Shen Yu takes back his hand from Jun Suanxiao's grasp. The emperor wraps his arms around his consort in apology. He will be away when Shen Yu needs him most, but he promises to come back as soon as he can. Full of understanding, Shen Yu holds his hand and faces him. He tells the emperor that he need not apologize as none of it is his fault. Shen Yu has a lot more to say, but they are insignificant. He promised Jun Suanxiao that he shall wait for him. Jun Suanxiao cannot contain his happiness and lifts up Shen Yu in his arms, promising to give his heart to Shen Yu, calling out his name repeatedly. Shen Yu asks how many times would Jun Suanxiao call his name. The emperor responds that 1,000,000 times is never enough.